decided I was always going to be abounding in the work of the Lord. And I started working heartily as unto the Lord. I saw my manager, my supervisor, my department, not as a job, but I was working heartily as unto the Lord. It changed my attitude. It changed the way that I worked. And when opportunity came, God gave me favor. Look at your neighbor, say, favor ain't fair. Listen, when you have favor on your life, God will change policy. God will change company rules. God will change everything. When favor's on your life, when you do it God's way. And so I believe that we ought to live God-glorifying lives everywhere, every day, and in everywhere we go. See, the thing that happens with many believers, we disassociate our daily work from our spiritual walk. I want you to know that I believe in integrated living, but when I talk about integrated living, I'm not talking about living with white folks and red folks and brown folks and yellow folks. I'm talking about my life as a whole. I don't have a spiritual life. I don't have a personal life and then a vocational life. He came that we might have life. He came that we have life. We should not have segregated lives. I say that's my personal life. This is my spiritual life. This is my vocational life. That's my secular job. This is my spiritual work. No, it's all the work of the Lord. And that's why the text says we ought to live a God-glorifying life. And whatever we do, we ought to do heartily unto the Lord. We are to live God-glorifying lives in everything, every day, and everywhere. See, work was ordained by God as a means of fulfillment of service and a means of praise. When you and I work, because work has profit, there's something called fulfillment. Listen, when you see that grass growing up in your yard, this time of the year when you see those leaves all in your yard, and every day you pass by it, it's a power drain because you're thinking about, one day I need to rake up those leaves. One day I need to cut that grass. But isn't there an exhilaration where after you get finished pushing that mower and cutting that grass or raking up those leaves or hiring somebody to do it? And your work then becomes to watch them do it and to pay them when they get done. That there's something of fulfillment. Isn't it a power drain when you don't work and don't clean up your house and you're stepping over books and magazines and just stuff and clutter? And isn't there a fulfillment and an exhilaration when you get the thing cleaned up? Okay, I ain't getting no amens on that one. Let me try another example. Isn't it interesting that when your car's all dirty, got trash and everything all up in it? That is a power drain. And you're standing there all the time saying, one day I need to take this and get it vacuumed out. Some of you even talking about you need to get it detailed. You need to know that even when you get that car cleaned up, there's kind of like, oh man, I got it done. This looks good. It smells good. It's right. Because there's profit in work. But we don't work just because of profit and because of money and to be men pleasers, to please our supervisor so that we'll exceeds expectation on your quarterly evaluation, your biannual evaluation, your annual evaluation. We don't work just to please men, although that is a part of it. We work heartily as unto the Lord. We want our work to be superior, excelling, and more than enough. And you see, work was ordained by God as means of fulfillment and service and praise. When you and I see that every time we work and we give God glorifying work, it becomes a praise unto God. You see, it is to be supplemented with rest, work is. God says, 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But on the seventh day, he hallowed it and he rested. God said it takes great faith to believe you can get it all done in 6 days and then take a day to worship him, reflect on what he has said and done, and to rest your physical body.